Hey squad, welcome back. Now today I'm going to show you a really quick and exciting way of getting your drums to stand out in the mix. I'm all about speed and efficiency, and if I can repeat the process in just a few clicks each time I'm working on a track, then I'm all about that method. Now, for any of you who are familiar with my channel and my content, you'll know that I'm a big user of the iZotope suite of plugins. If you look through my collection of videos, you'll see that I've been making videos about iZotope products for a long time. I'm not sponsored in any way by iZotope. I'm just a big fan, and I use these amazing tools on every single production, mix and master I complete, not just for myself, but for others as well. So the plugin we're using today is iZotope's Neutron 3. Now this is an amazing tool for mixing your tracks, and you can use it on individual channel strips, group buses, as well as on your master bus. Now for this project, we're going to be using Neutron on my drum bus. Now, as you can see, all of my drums are going through to a group bus 10, which I've labeled drums. Okay. Now by sending all of the drums to a group bus and I apply these plugins to them, the processing will apply to all of the drums, and this will add additional glue and coherence to the entire drum pattern. So let me just play back the drums so you can hear what we're working with. Basic groove, some hats, some claps, a bit of percussion, some more percussion, and my bass line. Now remember, if you're finding value in my content, which is completely free on YouTube, all I ask of you is to click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and drop me a comment. It's always great hearing from you. All right, let's dive in. Okay, so for the first step, for any of you guys who aren't familiar with working with drum buses, for example, let's take this drum groove right here. By default, the channel strip will send the signal to the stereo output. However, what we want to do is change that to a bus. Now, I've set up bus 10 for my drums. I always use bus 10 for my drums. Having said that, I could have chosen another bus, say bus 15, for example, label it down here and call this drums. And I'll just go through and I'll do the same for all of these, sending them all through to a single channel where I'll be doing all of my processing. However, my drum bus is bus 10, so let's put that back there. Now, as you can see on the channel strip, we've got some additional things in addition to Neutron. Now, because I'm working in Logic, I always use some of these native stock Logic plugins just to give that extra bit of flavor, which really does make a difference to my work. So I always start with a Logic compressor, and for drums, I'm often using the classic VCA. And if you check out my video on Logic vintage compressor circuits, you'll find out more about why I do this. I generally switch to soft distortion. That's pretty much it. I don't want this to be doing that much, just adding a little bit of color and some slight distortion and harmonics to the drums. So have a quick listen. See, already by having just a very subtle bit of processing, already the drums are coming to life. Next thing I do is I send the signal through another stock Logic plugin, which is the console EQ. And I've talked about this before, the fact that it's been modeled on a classic Neve console. And once again, I'm just passing the signal through the device. I haven't got any adjustments here at all, but by just passing the signal through, additional color is being applied to the signal. So let's just play that back and then A/B this before we move into the rest of the tools. Now the change is very subtle, but if you're listening on headphones, you'll hear when things open up just slightly when I switch this on, and it closes in when I switch it off. All right, so let's leave that in. And the final thing I've got in the chain before we look at Neutron is vinyl. Now, this here is iZotope's vinyl plugin, which is a brilliant lo-fi production tool. And I use this to somehow add some edge and slightly degrade the sound, making my production sound a bit more vintage, a bit more retro. All right, so let's play back and switch this in and out. Now, I have done videos on Neutron 3 before, but today's one in particular is to do with the drum bus. So let's just open that up right here. This is the default setting. Now, the point I'm trying to make today is how you can quickly impact the sound of your drums and bring them to the stage where they really stand out and provide an excellent backbone to the rest of your production. Now, you can come here and you can add some of these essential tools to your chain. So maybe a compressor here, a second compressor, maybe an exciter, maybe a sculptor, a transient shaper. You can move them around. And if you wanted to put a gate in, you'd probably put that back up here. Now, what's great about this suite is you have all of the tools or the modules needed to shape and sculpt the tone of an instrument or a voice, or a group of instruments, or an entire mix. So for today's technique, what we're going to do is go straight up here to the presets, and we're going to look at the global presets right here. As you can see, we've got bass, drum bus, drums, individual drums that is, and the rest of the stack right here. But we're really interested in the drum bus because we've got all of our drums being sent to a single channel strip or bus. And we're going to use the acoustic set right here, and this is all categorized. Let's just open this up a bit more. So as you can see right here, we've got all of these presets tailored for drum bus mixing. So let's start with add snap. And all we've got here for add snap is an EQ and a compressor. As you can hear, very quick transformation. Let's try something else. Crisp top and bottom. Now we've got a few more modules in this one, and let's hear what we got. Again, like I said, starting points. Depending on the sort of material you're working with or the genre, you'll be able to determine which one of these actually gives you that great foundation. Let's go for a couple more and then I'll apply my one. Okay, and let's try one more. Let's try out this tight percussion bus. Okay, so you can have a lot of fun messing with this, going in and adjusting the parameters of each of these modules to suit your very specific needs. Maybe you wanted to add a couple more modules to the chain. And once you're done making all of the adjustments, you go back to the presets menu, you click this plus right here to save your preset, hit enter, and boom, there we are. I can come back to this, pull it up and use it on another track. Okay, so here's my final channel strip using Neutron and the Mega Drums preset, which of course was my starting point right here, Mega Drums. And I did a couple of tweaks just to kind of suit my needs. But let's just bring these in and you'll hear how this very simple set of processing transforms the drums to fit with everything else that's going on. Now, this particular track is called Bumpy's Back and it's taken from my upcoming project Grooves by Dr. Deuce, and I'll be putting a link in the description as soon as the track drops. Anyway, for now, let's just give this a quick playback so you can hear the transformation. Remember, if you find value in this free YouTube video, give it a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm Deuce. I'm out. Peace.